Hello and welcome to Push Your Glasses Up. I'm Mikey, and this is Review, a series where I take a look at films that I think are underappreciated and highlight something I find a little interesting about them. Today we're traveling to Site B to check out some dinos, so let's dive into the lost world, Jurassic Park. Even if it only feels like 65 million years ago, in the summer of 1997 I was 12 years old, and it had been 4 years since I'd seen Jurassic Park on the big screen, along with innumerable replays on VHS. This is the yes, I'm old portion of the video, still at the whim of a parent saying, let's go to the movies. I had to wait 2 weeks until after its Memorial Day weekend release. But the long wait was finally over, and I was finally sitting in a cinema, lights dimming, about to watch The Lost World. And I loved it. Yes, everyone always points to The Lost World and says,
that is one big pile of shit.
And I'm not about to tell you should love it. Heck, there's stuff that I dislike about it. For instance, I think it should end when everyone escapes the island and sees the cargo ship making its way to San Diego. That feels like a more natural breakpoint, allowing for an organic sequel. Unfortunately, Spielberg knew he wasn't returning to direct again. And thus, if it's happening now. So we got his take on King Kong. And I know it's easy to ask, where are the moments of awe that happened in the first film? Because that's something that this one lacks. But realistically, how do you replicate awe? How do you recapture that same feeling within 4 years? It's nearly impossible, so if you don't think you can crack it, why bother trying? Skip that altogether. Like Alien to Aliens, there's a genre shift. There's thrills, but it's not a thriller. And unlike the third film, it hasn't been trimmed down to only the exciting confrontation moments. It still has some meat on the bones. It's intended to be more overt fun than outright scares, but without sacrificing itself in the edit. Now, Jurassic Park is about as close to a perfect movie as you could hope for, so it was an uphill battle for The Lost World from the get. But not being quite as good as perfection doesn't mean trash. And for that reason, I feel like The Lost World is one of the best examples of people reviewing a movie for what it isn't rather than what it is. And that's kind of a shame. With all that said, that's not really the main thing I want to talk about today. Jurassic Park spotlights what it means to play God, to create without foresight of repercussions. The Lost World, on the other hand, grapples with the opportunistic aftermath. What is it to capture God? The genie is already out of the bottle. Dinosaurs exist after millions of years, and the greedy, self-serving nature of man, which isn't absent from the first film, just played differently, becomes the greater threat. We already saw chaos break free from fencing 4 years prior to this film. Here, we run directly towards it, that new wild. And it's something you can't rein in. You're enveloped. So we reach the hubris involved in the attempt. Enter Ludlow. It's implied that Hammond was self-made, starting with his flea circus. He wanted to be the hand that creates. Ludlow, conversely, has had everything handed to him on a silver platter. No ideas of his own. He's a walking trust fund that feels his uncle's success is his own. He continuously believes himself to be in control, even as chaos is all around. That being powerful in the boardroom means you make all the right decisions. But that's immediately shown to be false after declaring a campsite be set up in what is a game trail, much to Roland's contempt. He starts preemptively drinking in celebration while showing off his multiple captured species via satellite feed to investors. A feed that is soon interrupted by a stampede. The Lost World makes that divide in perspective clear, almost as if it were the MacGuffin. We're brought back into the world of Hammond because he's finally realized a zoo isn't the solution, a preserve is. Unfortunately, those who now run InGen are still living in the past, and they haven't learned from or evolved beyond those mistakes, profiteering off of big game hunts on what is ostensibly a wildlife reserve, then throwing those animals in cages in order to ship them to a zoo when they're just finding their way after millions of years. The next logical step in that framework is selling trips to Site B so the wealthy can bag their own buck. We've all seen pictures of the ultra-rich hunting lions and elephants. It's gross, but if profit is there, that's realistically where we'd see InGen go under Ludlow a few years down the line, restocking the crop as it's harvested. When we talk about The Lost World, this all tends to fade in the shadow of it's bad because San Diego and or gymnastics, when the genuinely satisfying comeuppance of an underqualified yet confident person hits. It takes a fun adventure film and strengthens its core just enough to make meaningful something that could have been empty calories. Thanks for watching this episode of Review on Push Your Glasses Up. If you're interested in long-form podcasts where I have conversations with guests about new movies that come out and, franchise rewatches and whatnot, we have those on this channel and on podcast feeds wherever you get podcasts. And I do lots and lots of trailer reactions here on this YouTube channel as well. So thanks again for watching, and bye.